Public Relations Officer of the Ghana Private Road Transport Union, Abbas Imoro, says transportation fares will not be reduced anytime soon despite the reduction in fuel prices. He noted that the current reduction in fuel prices do not warrant any reduction in fares as it will not reflect the gap in fuel margins. The PRO explained that despite a slight reduction in fuel prices, there has been an increase in the prices of spare parts and lubricants. Hence, any current reduction in fares is impossible. So joining me via phone is Abbas Imoro, who is the Public Relations Officer of the Ghana Private Road Transport Union. Abbas, assalamu alaikum. Why have your drivers refused to reduce transport fares even after the continuous reduction in fuel prices?
Yeah, good afternoon.
Did you hear my question?
Yeah, we haven't refused to reduce transport fares. It's about our profession. We recently realized our business is declining. So we researched it into our activities to find out what exactly is the problem with us. That was when we realized that since from May 2020 up to November 2022, fuel has been increased by 473%. As against the same period, lorry fare has gone up by only 67%. We again researched further on this 2022, realized from January 2022 up to November 2022, fuel prices have increased by 243%, as against lorry fare increment 54%. This is where we realize that yes, this is where we fall short, because we have 10% threshold of which, if fuel price is being increased to about 10%, we have to adjust our lorry fares also by that margin and see how best we can manage ourselves. And out of our sympathy, we have been very quiet at times. Fuel prices shall be 3-4 times before we come up with an upward adjustment. And it doesn't reflect the percentages which we are supposed to use. So this has been this vast margin between drivers and passengers. As we speak now, passengers owe us so much that it won't be reasonable for us to say we want to demand all that margin before moving forward. Our leadership will meet and see where to peg the issue, then at which time we'll also start to reduce the lorry fares. But as it is now, other components that we use to run transport, spare parts, lubricants, documentation, all has gone up.
You have mentioned things like spare parts, but you don't buy spare parts every day, do you? Like you buy fuel every day, and prior to that also you were buying spare parts. So if you bring in spare parts that they have increased exponentially, that is a bit unfair, is it not?
Let us face the issue the way it is. We buy spare parts to maintain our vehicles. Yes, of course, spare parts doesn't work shortly after. At times you buy the spare parts and it appears to be not a genuine one. But meanwhile, they sold it to you, you buy it, and within at times a day or two, or within a week, that part no longer works. You have to go and look for another one. So it is part of it, the components that we use. You see, so as I'm saying, we will now arrange ourselves and see our leadership will meet, and whatever position that we peg issue at will come out in a press conference form and inform the public at which point, if they reduce the fuel, then we'll start reducing the lorry fares. But currently, as it is today, that nothing has been reduced. We have experienced only few reduction on the fuel it will be very difficult for us to reduce the welfare.
If you look at the current prices of fuel, they are lower than when you reduce or when you increase transport fares the last two times. So doesn't it really, have a case
and
that
I have shown you that we research and find out that we have lagged behind. There's a very great difference between the increment and what you are supposed to take, of which you are not taking now. From 2020 up to 2022, I've told you 473% against 67%. Let's forget about that. Let's look at this year from January up to November. 243% against 54%. My brother, you say, so the passengers owe us, but I render apology because
about the percentage of the transport increment are quite debatable, but I'd like to thank you very much for speaking to me this afternoon. Thank you.